Hi, this is ImFromSweden for Poker VIP. This is going to be my first video here, and I decided to start off with a live session, just because, you know, to get some criticism on what you guys want to see in the future. It's just hard to go wrong with a live session, I guess. I'm going to be playing on microgaming, just because I like the software there, and the traffic is also pretty good. I'm going to be playing 4 tables, yep, and also I don't have a second monitor at the moment, so sometimes I have to open the lobby to open up a new table when the last one breaks. So I've tried to edit it as well as I can, but you might notice it a bit, so sorry for that. But with that said, I guess we can just get into it. I'm playing heads up on the top right table, just because, you know, just trying to start a table. I think he might be a fish, but I'm not sure yet. I don't really want to see about this board, I just think it's super wet. Don't really think we have a lot of fold equity. But when he checks the turn, I think we have to fire, just because he would have bet a queen on such a wet board. Bottom right. Oh, let's go over my HUD a little bit first, I guess. So the first column, the 46 number, is the VPIP, the 31 is the PFR. These are just bad numbers, I don't know why I have those. The 42 is the steal percentage, and then there are some post-flop stats. But when I look for post-flop, I just press the bottom row here, and it pops up all the positional values and stuff. So that's what I'm mainly going to be using. So I call Queen Jack. Obviously I'm gonna check call this board. No reason to do anything else. On the top right he min 3 bets, so it's probably a fish. Obviously it's a call. I call the flop as well. I don't think it's horrible to raise, but it just doesn't make a lot of sense. We're not getting anything better to fold and nothing worse to call, except maybe like a flush draw. And I think if we hit, since he's probably a fish, since he means 3 bet, we might get some value on like a diamond from an ace. So I like calling better. Bottom right, he checked back the turn, and I don't think I'm going for value on the river, just because I don't see what he's gonna call me with, and he can also have a 10 easily, so just gonna check that one. Top right, he had 10-7 offsuit, so yeah, definitely a fish. Bottom left, I call. We could 3-bet, but I prefer just calling versus unknowns, just because we're just bloating the pot out of position if we 3-bet, and it turns out that these guys are just really sticky. So I think it's fine to just call. On this flop, I actually thought I was going to check raise, because I think this is pretty much the perfect hand to check raise with, because we have blockers, 2 sets and 2 pairs. We have lots of backdoors, both straights and flush draws. And we also have some direct outs to 2 pairs and trips. So in a balanced way, I would probably check raise this hand, but I just think it's fine to fold this as an exploitable play, because it's kind of like a population read. I don't think most people at 200 make it this big, and then the other guy calls and then they just fold to check raise that often. I quite like it if they make it a bit smaller, but it just seems that whenever they make it a little bit bigger, they just seem to be stronger. So I think it's fine to just check fold. I'm going to be c-betting Queen 7, because I think he calls like 10-8, 10-9, 8-7, all those hands, as well as some ace highs, so I think there's value. He's min 3-betting us again, and we have 10-8, so it seems quite likely that he's a fish. Although I did hear a story about one guy who pretended to be a fish by min 3 betting, but actually had it as his like a really thought out strategy, and he ended up making like 100k on high stakes from bum hunters just because he outplayed them post flop and they just played super straightforward. But I don't think that's the case here. A7 we could raise, but I don't think it plays super well post flop. If you flop an ace, he's going to be careful. Even the fish is careful on ace high boards, and the 7 is not great. So I don't mind just checking on the big blind. I decided to see bet ace king here. I thought I could get a lot of value from draws and ace highs. And then he check min raises me. I don't think we can fold with a backdoor flush draw as well. But I don't think we're ahead very often. And on the river we're just getting taken to value town, but there's nothing we can do. Like, I still prefer c-betting the flop. And we have to call. We have to check back turn and we have to call the river. I really don't see how we can do anything different. Ace king is a standard 3-bet. Ace queen I decide to check back now because I saw that he check min raised the top pair, and I don't want to get check min raised again because I have like ace high, so I just check back and then call a small bet on the turn. Hit an ace on the river and just a snap call. I don't think raising is especially good. Seems a little bit too thin. Oh, another thing. Sorry about my stack size, by the way. I don't have auto top up turned on, so sometimes I sit with some weird stack sizes. But sooner or later I remember and just top up. Jack 9 I decided to c-bet. We have lots of equity, lots of barrel cards on the turn. Spades, kings, queens. So even versus a fish it's fine. Queen jack we can 3-bet on the top left, but it's also fine to fold. I decide on my mood. With king deuce I decide to bet the turn as well. Even though he's a fish and he only has one pot size bet left, I think it's fine to bet the turn. Because it just calls super wide on the flop, and also because he check min raises his top pairs, so like his range for calling the flop is so many bad hands and so many weak draws. And if I check back the turn, he's just gonna bet the river, and anytime I miss I just have to fold. So I quite prefer just betting the turn. I think I'm about to leave the top left table, by the way. Seems like a table just full of nits, and that's no fun for anyone. It's interesting what's going on the bottom left table. I checked the hand history afterwards, and it was a single raise pot, and player 4 just c-bet normally, and then he checked the turn, and the guy goes for a 2 times pot size bet, and player 4 is check raising all in a minute. Yeah. And player 6 ends up folding, so that's not something you see every day on 200. I was quite surprised. I guess player 4 just had the missiles, and player 6 was going for an interesting bluff.